Ladies and gentlemen, Eddie Marcus here again, getting ready to go to a picnic on this 2018 Mother's Day. Earlier, I prepared a presentation for you and have submitted it, but there was too much, or should I say not enough time, for me to say all of the things I wanted to say, or just some additional things. And so I decided to just cut it short and come back with a little extra on Mother's Day. I'll call it a little extra on Mother's Day. You see, what I am wanting to say to you, ladies and gentlemen, is that though I ask you to make me senator, and though I ask you to make me president in 2020, I am nothing but a man. I am nothing but a man. And the truth of it is the most of my specialness, a man. I was good and great as an agent of Satan, as an agent of the devil. And now I've been telling you about God. But the truth of it is I failed to represent God well. When I talked about the things for Satan and engaged myself, I had no problem. People were willing to go into it with me, or I was willing to go at it alone, and I was successful in those endeavors. But when I changed and called myself a new creature, nobody was willing to go in with me. And even as I went alone, I found nothing but challenges. It was like, it ain't happening. And I know without a doubt that I was accepted as an instrument of God because I had the ability and would speak out in the name of God. I would stand up against the challenges. And I have done so. But it just seems as though, ladies and gentlemen, it has been to no avail. When I think about the challenges I have taken, even my son would rather listen to Donald Trump than me. Not because Donald Trump is a smart representative, but he's been successful in his endeavors, whatever they were, and whatever task and whatever challenges he had to face, and whatever rules he had to break, he did it. And so people look at that as being success. Even, I'm not saying that my son looks at the ugly, nasty, evil things of Donald Trump as being successful, but he looks at the Democratic Party, he looks at the Republican Party, he looks at his own life and see what it has had to face, what the challenges have been. And so in his desire and desperation to be a successful man, he feels that somebody who's outside of the political stream might be successful. And he's heard the whole story about God, just like you have. And like one dope dealer told me once, God ain't paying no bills. And I guess that's the same thing my son is saying. He doesn't want to reject God, but God ain't paying no bills. And the bills have got to be paid because like a baby in a mother's womb has to be fed, people outside the womb living in the womb of the world have got to be fed as well. And the reason that I tell you that God isn't coming through for people is because people don't know God, and whoever is out talking about God don't know what they're talking about. And so it's a failure, not just for me, but for all of us. Now, I am no longer excited about what we talk about when we think about dying. I'm no longer excited about the steaks and the eggs. I'm not so excited about a good night's sleep, or beer, or a joint. I'm not even that excited about a sexual exploit in the hate. No, these things have had their place, but right now there's something else that's more valuable to me. And that is not just my children, but anybody that's suffering. All over the world that's suffering. Whether it's in India, the Philippines, North Korea, or over in Palestine, or wherever, Africa, wherever pain and suffering exist, it takes away the joy that I have inside. It makes me feel like crying. It makes me feel like boo-hooing. And I do boo-hoo, but I recognize that all the people around me, if they got a job, they're not thinking about that. I must be out of my mind. And if they don't have a job, they're not thinking about that. I must be out of my mind. One of my boys told me the other day, if I'm talking about lifting up the way of God, it's like asking black people to go back to Africa. That ain't happening. If I'm talking about lifting up the way of God, it's like asking the people who support Donald Trump to quit. It ain't happening. So if you're talking about coming up with a change from money, which has replaced God in the eyes of human beings, it ain't happening. And yet and still, the facts of life are that there are certain things that's going to happen, whether you like it or not. Now, we got earthquakes in Hawaii, doing some strange things that many of us have never heard of before. Definitely have not seen pictures of. We have things that have been happening, and with the tsunamis, we've had storms that Puerto Rico represents. We've had all kinds of things that's happened. We have wildfires that's happening. And all of these things, when you put them together, can happen. And I'm not to say they're going to, but I'm definitely not going to say that they aren't. But if they did, I'd like to know, how much money would you need to feed yourself if there's no food? How much money would you need to house yourself if there's no housing? How much money would you need to clothe yourself if there's no clothing? How much money would you need to educate yourself if there's no educational systems? How much money would you need for your health care if the health care system had fallen? The only thing you can do is think about what you can do for yourselves. That is, to provide everything that I've just mentioned for yourself. And that would be one heck of a challenge. Everybody out there struggling and fighting over each other, with each other about this and that, because you each needed the same thing. But if somebody came along and told you that you had a particular gift, and you don't have to work to try to meet all of these needs yourself, but you use the resources that are available to exercise your gift in a particular thing that is of your choosing. And that goes to everybody. And when all of those things that you engage yourselves in result in you extracting from whatever resources are remaining, and you're creating food, clothing, shelter, education, and health care, by the fact that you got a career, you got a job, and you're actually doing just a small part of what is necessary for you to be fitted for survival. I bet every last one of you will be jumping on it, jumping at it, thanking God that you don't have to now do 7 or 8 different things. You can just do one thing. Well, see, that's the message I've been bringing to you for all of these years. And you said, nah, I ain't interested in that. Ain't got time for that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm basically trying to say is this. I don't know if there's an afterlife, nor is one required for me. All I want to do is be free. I'm alive today, and I want to be free. And if freedom means I must be willing to die in order to be free, then I guess that's my next move. I also want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, that many have said that if they could just give their life and help, and they've helped one person, their life would not have been in vain. Well, that's not my cry. I am not giving my life to help one person. I'm giving my life to help everybody on the face of the earth that needs to be helped. And if somebody, the devil, don't like it, and he got some agents out here who want to pissed off with me and come and wipe me out off the face of the earth, I want you to know, I forgive that one. Right now, I want everybody to know, I forgive that one. Please do not prosecute that one or punish that one, because that one would have liberated me from a hell. And this is hell, ladies and gentlemen, for me. I know many of you enjoy it and want to live forever. I don't want to live in this hell. I want to change this to heaven. And if I got no help, and I can't do it by the power of God in me alone, then I don't care. Leave that guy alone if they take my life. And it would be a blessing for you too. You don't have to hear me advocating for such as this that you cannot stand. So I want to thank you so very much for giving me this your opportunity. If I'm allowed to continue to live, I do want the citizens of the state of Minnesota to make me the next United States Senator. And for those of you who are living across this country in 2020, I want you to make me the President of the United States through the process of write-in. And what am I offering? I'm offering to you the same thing I just got through mentioning to you. I have nothing else nothing else. And I know that there has not been a candidate, as far as I know, that has ever stood and offered you this. And they've offered you so much less, and then they've offered you so much, and every time it's a lie, but you seem to buy the lie. And there's no truth that you might not, or evidence that you might not buy the lie again. But I want you to know that's all on you. The God of life loves you, and I stand before you to make this blessing, to make this offering to you, not of myself, but of the power of the unspirit one, that you can't see, touch, or feel, but all of the evidence exists. The lying, the cheating, the stealing, the killing, the wars is not of God. It's of those who want to be God, who wants to be superior to you, and you have given them the power to do so. Thank you so very much.